Today, I'm going to do a deep dive review of Valley Food Storage, and we're going to find out if their food is as good as it used to be. You see, I've bought Valley Food Storage with my own money several years ago. I stocked up on a lot of their stuff. It's high quality food at a very reasonable price, so let's see if they still live up to that standard. Hi, I'm Jack, and I'm a co-founder of SkilledSurvival.com and TheResilientLife.com, and I've been posting my tips, strategies, and analysis of everything survival and preparedness since 2013. We've helped millions of people who have visited these sites over the years, and we're now growing our YouTube channel. So if you like this kind of content, if you want more of this type of reviews and analysis and strategies, then I highly recommend you take a moment to subscribe to my channel. That way you never miss anything coming down the pipe. Now, before I get started on this review, I just want to mention that at the time I published this video, there was a great deal on some Valley Food Storage free samples. You could get 3 packages of Valley Food Storage, and instead of paying like $30 in shipping for that, you can get this deal that they have going on and pay for shipping that's less than $10 for 3 free samples. It's an excellent deal. It's a great way to test out their product before you go all in and spend a lot of money, like thousands of dollars, building your food stockpile. So if you're listening to this right now, I highly suggest going down in the description below, click the link, we'll highlight that in the description, and take a look and see if that deal is still available. If it is, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. You should go ahead and click that, buy it, get it to your door, test it out, and if you like it, then you can go ahead and spend a little more money. And so it's a great deal. If you click it and it's not there anymore, well, you know, deals like that, they come, they go. So I'm sorry, I apologize. There's nothing I can do about that, but I just thought I'd let you know in case you really wanted to kind of test drive this food before you buy. Okay, so Valley Food Storage reached out to me, and I've reviewed their food in the past via a blog post. If you want to read that blog post, it's down in the description below. I'm going to add this video to that blog post because this is their most recent offering. They've changed a few things over the years. So they reached out to me and they wanted me to take a new look at Valley Food Storage. They sent me this bucket to review, so that's what we're going to do. So first of all, taking a look at this bucket, do a quick spin here. They got their brand name on it. They have some advisories here. Children can fall into bucket and drown if there's water. Keep children away from bucket even if a small amount of liquid's in it. So kind of a standard kind of warning here for that. Let's see the bottom, okay? Looks like there's 2 grooves in the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that. So I don't know what those are for exactly. So I know these buckets are stackable, okay? They stack really well, actually. They're sealed up pretty well, so I can see all the way around here. There's a plastic seal, and there's 2 tabs on either side. See those? There's tabs right here. And I think I'm gonna rip those tabs off to open up this bucket. So it comes sealed. So unless you're gonna use it, you might as well leave it sealed. Leaving it sealed makes sure that mice and rodents and bugs, they're gonna have a hard time getting in this bucket from the start. Even water. You know, it's not waterproof necessarily. It's not waterproof, so you don't want to leave this maybe in the floor of your basement if there's a chance it could flood. But it is pretty good. I mean, if it got rained on or damp for just a little bit, then it wouldn't infiltrate this bucket. So it's a good bucket. It's got a handle, you know, so it's a little bit hefty. So let's put this bucket on the weight scale quick. So here we go. Looks like this thing is about 17 pounds, okay? So it's not that heavy, but it's also not super light. So it's strong enough to stack other things on top of it. So I have mine currently 3 or 4 high max. I wouldn't maybe go much higher than that, but I mean, it's a plastic bucket, so you can go really to the ceiling if you want. You just worry about it toppling over if it's not secured properly. So, okay, so I don't know what else to say about this bucket other than let's open it up and see what's inside. Right, now that these seals are all off, which I had to struggle to get off because what happened was these tabs snapped off. So I probably just didn't do it right. It's probably operator error. So I should have been more careful to pry these off this way as opposed to this way, and it probably would have came off. But, you know, I don't open these every day because I keep them for, you know, worst case emergency. I had to use a tool to open them up. No big deal, okay? So now that this one's open, let's go ahead and lift the lid. And let's get the camera there. Okay, so the lid comes up as a hinge right there. And then here we have all kinds of food stacked up in Mylar bags. So we'll just take a bunch of these out and we'll go through them and see if they're what we got. Ah, so these are different packaging. Okay, so we'll take a look at all this here. Let's see what else. So there's a good amount of food in this single bucket right here. It doesn't say how many calories are in it in total on the outside, but I do know on their website when you buy it, you have a real good sense of what you're getting as far as calories and variety of meals and things like that. So there's the empty bucket. I'm just gonna start throwing this stuff inside and read it as I go. So let's see here. Italian rice risotto. It's got directions. It's got 270 calories per serving, and there's 5 servings. So some rich, dense calorie food right here. You know, it's freeze dried, I assume, even though it doesn't say that on the package. Pasta primavera. Some mac and cheese. I'm sure the kids would like that. Me too, actually. Fettuccine Alfredo. Mango habanero chili. Enchilada beans and rice. Some more mango chili. Tomato basil soup. So this is freeze-dried broccoli. So this is not a meal. This is more like a vegetable that you would then they freeze-dried it and packaged it into these green bags. So what I can't tell is if these green bags are Mylar or not. I know these bags are Mylar. These shiny bags, that's Mylar. I can't tell if it's got kind of. Can you hear that? It's a different material, so I can't quite tell. But yeah, it's just straight up freeze-dried broccoli. All right. Apple oatmeal. Strawberry cream of wheat. Multigrain cereal. Irish pub cheddar soup. I'm part Irish, so yum. Multigrain cereal. White bean and lime chili. And strawberry oatmeal. And here we have fortified instant non-fat milk. So I'm sure that's freeze-dried milk there. Freeze-dried sweet corn. And fortified instant non-fat milk. So we got some nice milk liquids. We got some vegetables, and we got a bunch of meals. So I think the variety's good. Again, I think you could pick and choose what you want on Valley Food Storage website. You also can get like kind of a variety bucket. That's kind of what this is right here. And you're gonna get a bucket with a bunch of calories in it. The bucket seal's nice. You know, the Mylar is obviously going to keep a long time, and Valley Food Storage, I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it's either 20 years or 25 years. So I was trying to decide what ones I should test, right? I'm not going to test them all. That's a lot of food. I'm gonna save that for me. That's gonna be in my food pantry here, my survival pantry. But I want to test some of these out, and so I'm gonna go with the mac and cheese because I have little kids. They love mac and cheese. See how this compares taste-wise to their regular, cheap Kraft mac and cheese. Irish pub cheddar sounded delicious to me, so I want to give that a try. Enchilada beans and rice. See how that compares to the enchiladas we make at home. Sure, it's kind of like a mixed meal, but hey, we'll test it out, see how it tastes. And we'll do the freeze-dried broccoli. That way when we open up this package, we can kind of compare this package to these packages and just kind of look at the differences. So let's open those up, and then again, we're gonna cook the dinner later tonight, okay? So when I open this up, it's got these little notches, and it looks like it's resealable. So we'll test that out here first. Let's open this guy. All right, so that was pretty easy. All right, it is indeed resealable. Now, this isn't something that you're gonna open, use one, and then put it back in here and expect it to last for 25 years. Once you open it, you really need to kind of consume it over the next week or so, couple weeks. But you can use some of it, and then you can reseal it and reseal it. That way, it won't spill out. It'll stay kind of ready for a few days. Keep any critters out of it and whatnot. So those resealable options are really nice. I do like the Mylar edging here. If you look real close on the edges, I think most bags have this, but it's got this nice stamping. There's no leaks. It's gonna stay nice and sealed for the long haul. Here's what this looks like. All right, they got an oxygen absorber in here, which is great. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you fill these with the oxygen absorber, and then when they seal them, that's how they keep this food. It's dry, there's no moisture, there's no oxygen, so there's no bacteria growth. I mean, that's the way this works, is you keep the moisture and the oxygen out of it. Bacteria and things like that and molds require those two items in order to survive. So you just eliminate the food sources for those things, and this stuff won't grow anything. So keep it dry, keep it cool, keep the air out of it, oxygen out of it, and you're good to go. All right, that actually smells pretty darn good. It does smell like enchiladas and beans and rice, so I'm excited for that one. All right, let's open this Irish pub cheddar soup. Take a look at it. Smells very cheesy, cheddary. Okay, you can see a lot of that cheese powder in there. And then there's some other stuff in there, but it's a lot of cheese powder. Okay, again, make sure you take these out before you pour this into your bucket. You don't want to put this in your boiling pot of water when you actually cook. So remove it and then be done with it if you're going to consume it. So they don't really provide any value once you've opened them. And then and lastly, the mac and cheese. All right, looks like macaroni in there. Smells like mac and cheese. So now there is a big block of cheese in here. Take a look at that. See that? Kind of a huge block of cheese. So interested to see how we'll break that up. But that's just part of the manufacturing process, I'm sure. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We just need to make sure maybe we crumble it up before we pour it in so that it mixes really well. And here is the broccoli. It smells like fresh broccoli, it does. So it's actually really nice. Freeze dried. It's really light. So we're gonna add water back to it and cook it, and I'm sure it'll taste great. So we will see. All right, so this is our meal. We're gonna test some of these out. We'll probably eat them over a couple nights. I'll shoot some video of me cooking it here in a second and taste testing it, and then I'll let you know my thoughts at the very end. All right, I made my way down to my kitchen. It's actually not right away. It's been a few hours since then. But I'm getting ready to make dinner tonight for my family. And so I brought all of the bags down with the 3 meals and then the freeze-dried broccoli. So we're going to open these up. I'm going to use a little bit of them. I'm not going to make the whole meal because this would be way too much food for my entire family. I'll make like a cup of this, cup of that, a cup of that. And then I'll share them with everybody. And we'll have a meal. And then I'll let you know my thoughts on taste, and I'll let you know my thoughts on using it and how it constituted and how it boiled. And I'll get some video of that as well, okay? So let's do this. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out quick is on these directions, each direction is different. And so if I'm not going to use this whole amount, then I have to do a little bit of math, okay? So for example, this one says bring 1 3/4 cups of water to a boil and then add half a cup of this mix. And then you come over to this one and it's 1 3/4 cup of water, but then it's only 1/3 cup of the mix. And then this one is 1.5 cups of water for half a cup of mix, okay? So I want to do 1 cup of mix for each one. So then I'll just do some math to figure out the exact amount of water for each. And then I'm going to put them into these pots. And then we're going to go from there. So here we go. Okay, while these are boiling, I'm going to take this mac and cheese, and remember how I had that big chunk in there? So I started breaking it up. So we're going to break that up a little bit more here. So that wasn't too bad. You can see it's broken up into much smaller chunks. So now it should be able to get a cup of it and pour it in there. Okay. As we're getting going here and getting these pots boiling, another thing I just noticed, because I didn't read carefully before, is that each of these directions has a different time. So this one is the longest, the enchilada beans and rice. It wants you to cook it for 20 to 23 minutes on like a simmer. The Irish pub cheddar is about 15 to 20 minutes. And the mac and cheese is only 3 to 5 minutes, okay? So we'll be doing these in stages, and that's just the way it is with these meals. So I'll have to set the timer and then be really diligent about keeping track. Okay, we got everything simmering now. It's down about 14 minutes left. Soon we'll be adding the freeze-dried broccoli, but just to water. This instructions has no hot water or cold water. It just says add 1 cup of water to 1/4 cup of broccoli. So I'm going to just use tap water, like tepid water, and let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes in there and then see what happens. Another thing I want to note quick is it does look like this is Mylar. The inside of the bag is shiny and has that material. So I'm not sure what process they use to do this green outside of the bag. I do like this branding. I think this looks nice. I really don't care about that, to be honest. When it comes to survival food, I'm looking for it to last a really long time and to be, taste decent and be at a good price. I mean, those are the 3 things I care about most. But I want to make sure it's Mylar, and it looks like it is. It's resealable, just like the other bags. But it's green, it's cool. So, yeah, I'll be throwing this in this dish right there in just a minute. Okay, so everything's finished cooking. The enchiladas right there are looking delicious. They smell great too. The Irish pub cheddar looks good. It's got to cool off a little bit to kind of settle and congeal. And the mac and cheese is done cooking, and that's looking good as well. Plus, here these freeze-dried broccolis, they're starting to reconstitute, so they're close. It just tastes like broccoli. It's like it absorbs all that water and becomes pretty good. So let's let this cool down. We'll plate it up. I'll eat it, and then I'll give you my final opinion on it. All right, we're going to plate some of this up here. Let's see. Here's some enchilada. I'll tell you what. For that one, we're going to do a separate bowl. Because it's more like a soup. So we're just going to go like this. Get some of those chunks of potatoes. A little bit of corn I see in there. That's more like a soup. Sure, Irish cheddar hub soup. Mac and cheese. Grab some of that. All right. And then some broccoli. All right, so there's a plate full of some delicious food with a cup of soup. I'm gonna sit down with my family here in a moment. I'm gonna eat it. I don't think you guys need to see all that. And then I'll give my final review at the end, okay? So we'll see you in a second. All right, so now I'm gonna give my assessment of what I thought about dinner last night. So again, we had the enchilada rice and beans, we had the Irish pub cheddar soup, and we had the mac and cheese plus some broccoli. And overall, it was fine. It was a good meal. I'll tell you what, if I was starving, it would have been a 5-star meal. It was good. I enjoyed the enchilada, rice and beans a lot, had a lot of flavor. It was a little too spicy for my kids. My wife thought it was a little spicy as well, but I thought it had pretty good flavor. The Irish pub cheddar soup was a little bland for me. I added a little bit of salt to it to kind of give it some more flavor, which is no big deal. You should have salt as a part of your preps as well. So that was a fine meal. It was good. The mac and cheese, I was really hoping the kids would like it. My son did eat quite a bit of it, but he said it was spicy. And my daughter, she's a picky eater. She decided she didn't want to try any, or she tried it, but she didn't really enjoy it. So she didn't eat much of it. Everybody ate some of the broccoli. So the broccoli did okay. It wasn't fresh, crisp broccoli, but it was broccoli. It tasted like broccoli. And in a survival scenario, those are the kind of meals and vitamins you need. You need some well-balanced nutrition. So all in all, if I was starving, this would be a perfectly excellent, enjoyable meal. And the hungrier you are, the better those flavors will taste. The more those will be excellent things to eat. Now, if I compare survival food to a 5-star restaurant that you could go to today, or steak and fresh meats and fresh foods, of course, it's not the same. It's freeze-dried food. So with survival food, you're not paying for perfect flavor. You're not paying for excellent taste. The things you're paying for is you're paying for a 25-year shelf life. You're paying for calories that are reasonably nutritious, and you're looking for a great deal on that because you want to put it in your storage and you don't want to eat it. It's like insurance. You don't want to use it. If you have to use it, it's probably a very bad day. Very, very bad things are happening in this world and in this society if you're using your survival food. So, but if you don't have it, then you're screwed if there was a true emergency where you needed it, okay? So I like to think of survival food more as an insurance policy that you only pay for one time, right? You pay for it once, it lasts 25, 30 years, dang near your entire lifetime, depending on when you buy it. So if you're buying it in your 30s or even in your 40s, that's going to last you the rest of your life. It's a one-time insurance policy to cover you for food in an emergency, no matter what. So it's a good investment. Valley Food Storage is an excellent company. I bought it with my own money in the past several times. It's the major company I've bought food from. I've also bought food from Legacy Food Storage. I've bought food from some other vendors to sample and test. But my two main components of my survival stockpile of food that is freeze-dried and ready to go in an emergency is Valley Food Storage and Legacy Food Storage. So I definitely tell you to check those two out. And if you're on the fence, if you want to see what this stuff tastes like and take a look at it, then I highly recommend you check out Valley Food Storage's 3 sample pack that costs less than $10 in shipping and handling. And you can snag that today if it's still available. You know, I shot this and it was available today. Offers come, offers go. There's a chance it's not. So go down in the description below here, click that link and see if it's still available. If it is, I highly recommend you take advantage of that and get some coming to your door and see what this stuff tastes like yourself, okay? I can't replicate that taste. I can't replicate everything, but I will say the Mylar is good. I will say that the seals are good. I say that the product's good. The ingredients look good. The taste is satisfactory. The shelf life is excellent. So all those things are good to go. You're not going to go wrong with Valley Food Storage. They're a solid company in the survival space. You're going to get your food, you're going to put it in your basement, and you're going to prepare, adapt, and overcome for the next day, okay? So thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and we'll see you on the next video.